Yeah, so it's my pleasure to introduce to you the HathiTrust Research Center in our talk today about pushing the frontiers of large-scale text analytics. And I'd also like to thank my students that are involved in this project who also helped put the talk together, Craig Willis and Kyun Choi, who are sitting back enjoying the show. So right now, I am also, besides being the Associate Dean for Research here at the Graduate School of Library and Information Science, I'm also the newly appointed co-director of the HathiTrust Research Center. And this is a unique initiative jointly led by the University of Illinois and the Indiana University. So one thing I really love about the HathiTrust Research Center, and I'm going to tell you more about it, what it actually is as we get closer to the middle, is its multidisciplinarity, its multi-institutional collaboration. This is the one thing that I just celebrate about this organization. And just to give you a sense of the groups that are involved, we have Google. And Google is sort of one of the original motivators for this project. The HathiTrust proper, not the Research Center, but the HathiTrust proper, really is the academic front-looking aspect of the Google Books project. So that's why Google plays such a large role. The HathiTrust basically has a copy of the Google Books data that it's making available to the academic world. That is the motivation between the primary goal of the HathiTrust. It has other things going on, but that's what that's all about. So Google's responsible for doing the digitalization for the most part, in partnership with the University of Michigan. It was the University of Michigan that was their major locus for doing a lot of this work. And the University of Michigan essentially has the collection. That's where the Google Books data lives. It's being curated there at the University of Michigan. And that's where the HathiTrust organization lives. In walks Indiana. Indiana, in one part, is the backup drive for the University of Michigan. So they have a copy of the data. So we have Indiana University, we have Michigan, we have Google. And we have Brandeis, which is kind of a new aspect. John Unsworth, who was our former dean here, was a mover and shaker in the shaping of the HathiTrust Research Center. He relinquished actually the sort of his co-directing job when he moved off to be provost at Brandeis, but he still sits on our executive board, and he's bringing in the Brandeis organization to be part of the team. So that's why Brandeis is there. Then we have University of Illinois, go us. Right? And there are many aspects here at Illinois that I will get to that are all part of the HathiTrust Research Center team. At Indiana, they have an organization that's similar to our National Center for Supercomputing Applications. It's a computer science organization that does research on data analytics and so on. And this is the Data to Insight Center. And at the Data to Insight Center is a lead, Dr. Beth Plailey, Professor Plailey, and she's my co-director. She is my opposite at Indiana. So she has special skills in large-scale data analytics, computer science, and the like. Then we also have a partnership with the Indiana University Libraries, and I'm really proud of our connections with the libraries, both at Indiana and here. We have GSLIS. GSLIS is the administrative home of the HathiTrust Research Center here at Illinois. And academically, intellectually, CSRS is playing a leadership role in providing students and expertise in running of the HathiTrust Research Center, as Professor Palmer and Professor Blake. We also have the University Library that is playing a really big role in the HathiTrust Research Center. In particular, it's their Scholarly Commons project that they're running out of the University Library. I don't know if some of you have known anything about the Scholarly Commons project, but it's about data, information, and the new role that the library is going to play in the digital humanities in that realm, serving the needs of future scholars and students using electronic resources. NCSA was part and parcel of the original application and still plays a role in the big data crunching aspects in support of the center. The Illinois Informatics Institute, one of our partner organizations here at the University of Illinois, plays a big role. We are sharing PhD students that are also working on the project, and they were instrumental in writing the original proposal. through ICHAS, the Institute for Computing, Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences. And that's Professor Scott Poole was one of our key partners there. And we also have the Department of English, and Professor Ted Underwood, who's sitting back there, is one of our principal collaborators who's actually doing the big crunching of this very interesting data that we have at the HathiTrust. And finally, we are partnering with the Illinois Program for Research in the Humanities, which Professor Underwood's a key player there. All about, there's some big digital humanities projects that are just beginning to become underway, and we're partnering with IPRH to make that a reality. So, what is the HathiTrust? What is the HathiTrust Research Center? What are we all working together? As I said before, the HathiTrust Research Center, essentially the research arm of the HathiTrust. The HathiTrust, for the most part, is the Google Books front end for academic research. It has 10.6 million volumes. That is a lot of books. We can now sort of think of the HathiTrust data as the photocopy, the backup drive of the world's great research libraries. We have 5.6 individual book titles in the collection. It's 277,000 serial titles, groups of journal information. In the end, it's 3.7 billion pages. No human's ever going to read this. They just can't, right? And now we get into sort of the computer science-y wow numbers, 16 binary terabytes of compressed OCR. That's the optical character recognition. Google provides that to us. 550 binary terabytes of the page scans. So there are 3.7 billion images of pages in this collection. So there are a sub-collection here of 3.2 million public domain works, which are a little bit less restrictive. 4 terabytes of OCRs associated with that, which is still quite big, and then 135 binary terabytes of images. It is our goal here at GSLIS to see if we can mount a copy of this for our students' research needs and the university's research needs as a playground, a sandbox in which we can learn new techniques for dealing with the larger data. And that clicked didn't do anything. There we are. Digitalization sources, as I said, 96% of the stuff comes from Google. Some of it comes from Internet Archive. And there's a growing percentage where libraries on their own are taking initiative to bring in the data. The key thing that the HathiTrust Research Center provides is this notion of non-consumptive research. As I said, 3.2 million volumes are in the public domain, which means 6.5 million volumes are under really restrictive copyright. And the goal of this non-consumptive research paradigm, simplest way of describing it, is algorithms from the various researchers around the world come to us, we run them, we give them the answers back, and no copyright's been violated. That's the goal. So no action or set of action on the part of users, either acting alone or in cooperation with other users, or duration of one or multiple sessions can result in essentially someone stealing the data. That's what that means. And also we got to watch between collusion, like you grab a piece, someone else grabs a piece, and they put it together. We're tackling that, but the thing is, in the end, we'll allow people from around the world to do analyses of these texts. Here's a quick overview of the tools that we're developing. It's a whole notion of search. Students here are actually very involved in this Blacklight open source search engine to develop collections. Then we select algorithms that can crunch the data. This work here is done by our friends over at the Automated Learning Group at iCubed. Various visualizations and data that can be presented back to the users against whatever sub-collection they're interested in. Our goal is to get users around the world to contribute these programs. So what's next? We're releasing our very first system on 31 March 2013, which some of our students here are frantically working on probably while we're watching the presentation. We are hiring a joint postdoc research fellow with the library. So a unique position between SIRS and the Scholarly Commons at the library. Presentations coming up at Digital Humanities at JCDL, Joint Conference on Digital Libraries. We're having an uncamp to be held here in 2013, which hopefully will generate a lot of buzz and put us on the map. And finally, we have a scholarly analysis prototyping project grant that's sitting on the Board of Trustees' desk at the Mellon Foundation, which we have pretty much every hope that will be funded, and that project will begin in July to help us build tools so that people can actually find the information to run the analyses. It's actually a very hard problem, and we're working with SIRS because they have expertise in collection building. And that's it. My time's up. So thank you.